Alright guys, here I have another beautiful video card from MSI. So it's the 560Ti Twin Frozr II, and it's actually an overclocked edition. It runs at 880 MHz on the core and 2100 MHz memory. So it's got the Twin Frozr II cooler on it, as I mentioned, and it's got two 80mm fans. Oh sorry, they're 92mm fans actually. So you can see all the fins underneath the fans. They go right through from one side of the card to the other. And then there's these four heat pipes. You can see the heat pipes that go out to the ends of the fins are actually bigger. They're super pipes. They're a lot thicker, or a bit thicker in diameter. And then you can see where all the heat pipes go in. Right there, that's where the heatsink contacts the GPU. So you can see both of the fans plug in right there. There is two 6-pin power connectors. Lovely MSI Twin Frozr II logo on the top there. The card has a reasonably solid feel to it. Only one SLI finger, so you can only do SLI with two cards. So let's have a look at the back. So unfortunately not a black PCB, but at least it's a dark colour. It's a dark brown. And I'm not exactly sure if the PCB is reference or not. I think the PCB might be a reference, but it's got MSI's military class components on it. So that is I think it's a mini HDMI and dual DVI. So this card pushes the hot air out inside the case. It doesn't have a rear exhaust. It exhausts a bit out the rear, but it's going to be blowing, you know, hot air out all four sides. But on a mid-range card like this, it's not such a problem because it really doesn't generate a whole lot of heat. So you won't need that much airflow in your case. I mean, always the more airflow the better though. But it's not absolutely critical with a card like this, because yeah, it's really not a hot running card. Okay, so let's have a look at what you get with the card. So you get two of these dual 4-pin Molex to 6-pin, DVI to VGA, mini HDMI to HDMI, quick start guide, user manual, and driver's disc. Do not use that driver's disc. Download the latest drivers from the NVIDIA website. Okay, so it's an OC edition. One gigabyte of memory. So they're saying 20 degrees cooler with the Twin Frozr II cooler on the 560Ti. Okay, so MSI's military class 2 components. The best thing about MSI's cards that would make me pick them over other manufacturers. Make sure you pause each of these explanations, because it is absolutely awesome. The components that MSI uses on their cards are incredibly tough, long life, reliable. You know, they increase overclocking potential, stability. Guru of 3D's review. So there's a window there where you can normally see the card. Dual super pipes, I mentioned that. Nickel plated copper base. So 20 degrees cooler than the reference cooler, and 31 decibels as compared to the reference cooler, which is 33.16. all silent anyway, you know. The reference cooler is just very silent as well, so there's nothing on the back that's really of interest besides that. Power requirements you might want to look at, so you can pause that. And also this card supports all of NVIDIA's technologies, which are listed right there. Alright, so let's get into some benchmarking. So this is 3D Mark Vantage at default clocks, and this is 3D Mark Vantage overclocked. Now I'll talk about what the stock settings are and what the overclocked settings are in a minute, and also some of the problems that I had with overclocking was quite surprising. 3D Mark 11 stock clocks, 3D Mark 11 overclocked. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of difference, or very minimal difference actually. Okay, so the Unigen Heaven benchmark, I'll just let you see the settings, which you can pause if you wish. So they're just the stock settings, the default settings. So that's at stock clocks, and that's overclocked. So very minimal difference there again. And this is the Metro 2033 benchmark. Actually, I better just show you the settings. So you can pause that if you want to. I won't show you the individual results, I'll just show you the overall results. Okay, so that's at stock clocks, and that's overclocked. So 880 on the core and 2100 on the memory. So this card is overclocked version. Okay, I was quite surprised when I was overclocking. I thought that with this video card I would get some pretty incredible results, but I think the overclock, the factory overclock that MSI has put on this card is you know, about the highest performance the card can get. They've pretty much found the optimal overclock, because I tried to go further and I got right up to 1000 on the core from 880, and I got right up to 2300 on the memory from 2100. You know, and they are significant overclocks, and I had the voltage cranked right up to like 1.15 volts from 1 volt. And I thought that that was going to give me a massive performance increase, but I actually got worse performance. I did overclock the core 20 megahertz and get that slight performance increase that you saw in my results. Okay, so I'll show you the performance profile that I used for that slight performance increase. So 900 on the core, which is only 20 megahertz over, and I actually had to leave the memory at default because it just made no difference. So bit disappointing, you know. 20 megahertz on the core is as far as I can go, because then I start losing performance. So there's the temperature of the GPU, 34 degrees, and that's at idle, and the room temperature is 30 degrees. So at idle that's a delta of 4 degrees, which is absolutely awesome. So now I'm just going to get you off the tripod and give you a listen to the card. So after 30 minutes of load using folding at home, the GPU has reached 60 degrees Celsius, and you can see the GPU usage is still at 99%. So let's have a listen to the card. So the card at idle was certainly silent. I mean, you could barely hear it. And right now I can still only just hear the card. Okay, so this is a new addition to my graphics card reviews. Now, I'm just starting out really in reviewing hardware, so my reviews are going to be constantly changing, hopefully constantly improving and evolving. You know, it'll keep things interesting for you guys. I'm going to do a little bit of gameplay. At the moment it's going to be Metro 2033 because I think it's an excellent example of a high-end DirectX 11 game. Now, you've already seen, you know, benchmarks and performance results. The only reason I'm going to be doing gameplay videos is just to show you how a game runs on the video card. I think that's a very important thing. And you can see fraps up in the top left hand corner as well to keep an eye on the frame rate. So Metro 2033, the settings that I'm running: normal graphics, 1920 by 1200. I have advanced depth of field on, I have physics on, and I'm running the AAA anti-aliasing setting for Metro 2033. So, you know, medium type settings for a mid-range graphics card. Now, the hottest I could possibly get this card to go, I had it overclocked at 1000 on the core, 1.15 volts, and 2225 on the memory it was. The card got up to 70 degrees. So anyway, just going to get into a bit of, just going to play through the prologue of Metro 2033 for you.
The tunnel grew colder.
So keep an eye on
Billy and I
those,
were close
on the FPS.
Hey, Artyom, when you left your home station, the other thing will end up.
And remember that this is a damn high-end game, so.
You were about to save that well. Send it straight to her.
And I'm still running depth of field, which has a huge impact on performance.
We'll have to get through the military outpost to reach the surface.
So only getting 20 to 25 FPS, but it is actually quite playable. I'm going to turn off depth of field because it will really improve performance. I shouldn't be running it on a mid-range card like this because it just kills the performance. See, look at that. Now I'm getting like nearly double the performance just because of depth of field being off.
Ready, Artyom? Follow me. Okay.
Look at that. Now it's getting up to 70. Much better. So keep that in mind. If you're going to be running this game on a mid-range card, depth of field off.
Seems like nobody's home.
Normal graphics settings, AAA anti-aliasing, and you can leave physics on.
Almost there.
And it still looks
This is the
amazing.
performance one. It's really close to die.
Running absolutely beautiful.
Suki. Here they come.
Oh, no ammo. Alright guys, I actually ran out of batteries there, but that's almost where I was intending to stop anyway, because I don't want this video to be too long. I've got to squeeze it into 15 minutes. So that's pretty much everything. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the review, and thanks for watching, and please subscribe.